1. We are live on Facebook. Hi everyone. I've said it before. I know you're not tired of me yet because I am not tired of you. And to give and to receive are one in truth. And this is one of my favorite places to be, here in this present moment with you. And before I introduce you to Harri, I'm going to ask you first to hit that share button. I just met Harri, and he's going to be presenting this weekend at the Awareness Conference, and it's going to be so much fun connecting with him right now. And I expect you're going to want us to help spread the word and to ask your friends or invite your friends to hang out with us live right here and now, because even just these few minutes I've been with Harri, I can feel the energetic shift, the light, the connection, the divine. And it's something that we want to share with our friends, not just because we love them, but because the more we share this love and connect in this love, the more it becomes sort of like a snowball effect. And can you just take a moment now and breathe in this idea that we're flooding the world across the globe with light? Who wouldn't want to be part of that? So hit share, and then please come hang out with us. Give us your full attention. Stop doing whatever else you're doing. If you want, take a moment to put your hand on your heart. Maybe even close your eyes. It's pretty cool. You can listen to my voice. I don't even care if you pay attention to what I'm saying. Just listen to the voice and notice your breath. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to try to control your breath. You could just watch the body breathing. And as you watch the body breathing, you listen to my voice, what you're going to discover is that all of you shows up here and now. Furthermore, as long as you stay with Harri and I right here, right now, you will discover that there are no problems to solve. There is nowhere else that is worthwhile being. There's no goals. There's no nothing. You can just rest here with Harri, with myself, with the divine, and let's see what the Holy Spirit has in store for us. And from this place, in this present moment, it is my blessing and my delight to say hello to you, Harri.
Thank you for inviting me. It's terrific. And I'm very pleased to be here. And, the thing is, you hear so much about kind of the no self experience or the non-dual experience, and they're all wonderful statements. My personal experience, I'd rather use the AllSelf Experience, and because the self-awareness experience could just as well be called the love experience, as Cindy was saying, because how can the heart not be involved in something as universal as self-awareness? Everybody has self-awareness. Everybody has a certain amount. That's why we're alive. We have self-awareness. Now, if we're conscious of that self-awareness, then we start accruing some of the benefits. One of the benefits of self-awareness is this abiding sense of togetherness or love or connectedness with universal values. Not just universal values, but even our individual lives. Ultimately, at least for me, I started having experiences of expanded value when I was very, very young. And I got to thinking about it and wanting more and more. I knew that I wasn't always happy. I wanted to be happy all the time. And I think everybody does. I mean, what is it we want? We want to be contented with our lives. The thing about me was, I guess you could say I was greedy, because I wanted that inner experience, not to be just inside. I want it to be everywhere. I wanted to accept and be one with my friends, my family, my children, my wife, the world, the universe, and ultimately God. I didn't want self-awareness to be just a little tickle in my heart, or God to be a little tickle in my heart. I wanted the whole experience, and the whole experience, after all, somebody or someone or a cosmic force created this whole phenomenon called life. And for many, many people, there was such a big up and down experience, and and we get lost in that. We get lost in the ups and we get lost in the downs. So for me, I wanted something that was stable. I've always wanted, even as a little kid, I wanted something stable. And I looked inside, and what I saw in there was this expanded field of stillness, silence. And I said, whoa, is this God? And I said, no, that's not enough. It can't just be a big still nothingness. There has to be something there. And that something was connected to me. I was that big unbounded experience. I hope that phone isn't disturbing anybody that's at the other side of the room. And
You know, Harry, oh, I was
yeah,
just going to say, we're on a Course in Miracles Facebook page. You're not part of the Course in Miracles community, so chances are most people who are watching you right now are being introduced to you for the very first time. And so I'm curious, I had a teacher call it the elevator speech. Can you give us that 2 or 3 minute elevator speech? Who are you? How are you showing up in the world right now? What is your passion? What could you tell us in just a few minutes?
so a little story. You know, I've been talking about my own experiences for years and years, just to individuals, one at a time, small groups, whatever. And maybe about 7 or 8 years ago, I had some friends over to my place, and we were having dinner, and then we all got up, just a couple, my wife and I and another couple. And we got up, and I looked at this as we were walking into the dining room or the living room. I looked at this lady who I've known for years and years, and I said something to her, something like, it just came out of nowhere. I said something like, you don't know who I am, do you? And she went totally still, totally quiet. And for 15 minutes, she didn't say anything. Her eyes were big, and she was emanating this complete silence and stillness. And suddenly she started talking. And she said, Harry, what happened? I said, I don't know what happened. And she said, it feels like I just arrived home. My consciousness expanded. I feel fantastic. I no longer feel empty. It feels like I've made some huge transition. I was more surprised than she was. I said to myself at that moment that we were just talking. We were just having a conversation. And this person woke up to a greater expanded reality. And I said to myself, maybe I should be talking more. But I certainly didn't know or take any responsibility for that, for her experience. It was all her experience, but she did wake up. And I said, well, let's see if this lasts. now it's 7, 8 years later, and she's expanded more and more. And this started happening to many people. Same kind of thing. So I said to myself, well, Harry, maybe you should have some groups. Maybe you should talk about yourself. And I've had these experiences myself for years and years. I've had expanded consciousness, celestial experiences, all kinds of experiences, until they, over time, all came together, tied together into one experience. I wouldn't call it emptiness. I'd call it fullness, because I could see something within myself that was connected to the outside, my environment. And this experience kept expanding and expanding over the years until I had this unified feeling. More was a feeling in the early days that I was everything. I wasn't just a little being here sitting at this desk talking. That I was connected to, at first, my immediate environment, and first inside, abstractly, but then it grew and grew, and I became as if there was some connectedness, some love, some unity between me and the outside, and outside family, friends, so forth, in society. And it kept growing. What was I doing to make this grow? I was understanding the experience. I was getting it more and more. And I said, wait a minute, how far can this go? Can it go to universal proportions? Can there be some kind of experience of God or goddess in this? Can it go to that extent? And over time, my experience, it didn't stop growing. It was an inclusive phenomenon. It wasn't like I was emptying anything. It was like I was getting fuller and fuller. This so-called empty space wasn't empty at all. It was full of love, it was full of feeling, it was full of connectedness, until ultimately I started experiencing, and this really sounds like it's out there, but I started experiencing the whole universe. And I started experiencing, it wasn't like the universe was in me, or that I was in me. It was more like the universe was in me. What I got is that everybody is like, everybody has that, they just don't recognize. And when I started experiencing this cosmic value of my own self, then I said, whoa, is this when I can get to meet the creator of it all? One thing I knew was that in order to meet somebody so as exalted or as cosmic as the creator, I better have something in me that attracts that kind of experience. Self-awareness has qualities of infinity, absoluteness, love, connectedness to it. And I got the feeling if I could develop more and more of that, then ultimately I would meet the being that created it all. So that's a little bit about me.
I'm just resting in your words and in the space. So this weekend, your talk is entitled Self-Realization is Divine Luminous Awareness. Can you tell us a little bit about what we're going to expect if we show up?
Yes, I'm sorry. I'm going to describe my own experience, because I'm not smart enough to describe anybody else's experience. I can only describe mine. And I found when I personally talk about exactly what I've gone through and what I'm going through in terms of experience and consciousness, it has an effect. And just quickly, my experience, I have this silence, this stillness. It's like an ocean of consciousness. just an ocean of consciousness. I've had it since I was a kid. I didn't think anything about it. Everybody has it. Of course they do. Why wouldn't they? And I'd say when I was a young man, I started experiencing, what could I say, waves of that silence. The silence didn't go away, but there were waves to it. It was luminous. I could hear sounds in it. And over time, I started seeing, well, what else can I say? It was divine. It was celestial. It was beautiful. Not only was there this silence, but there was such this celestial, luminous quality to it, where there were waves. And as soon as I started seeing these waves of consciousness, my own consciousness, I started understanding that was me. I was experiencing this stillness was me, and this divinity was me. And as soon as I started understanding that these experiences were being had by an individual, by me, by a person, then I started connecting to the environment, to my immediate environment first, that this divinity inside, as if spilled into the environment, it spilled into my friends and family. And I'm going to talk about that. And my whole presentation will be about experience and how anybody can have similar experiences. They're just there. They're intrinsic to human existence. All of creation, all of evolution, the whole universe is nothing but a huge path to universality, to divinity, to love, and to unity. That's why we're here on Earth. Some of us move a little this speed, and some of us move a little faster, but everybody has the opportunity. It's my opinion and it's my experience that human consciousness was designed, whoever designed it, to experience the ultimate values, the supreme value of the senses, of the body, of the environment, of our friends, of our family, of the whole universe, and ultimately of God. That's what I'm going to talk about.
So you were talking about the fact that any of us could have this experience.
Yes.
And so I am curious, we only have a few minutes left, really. Wow. We've been talking for almost 20 minutes, which is wild.
Whoa, that went fast.
Well, it went very fast, didn't it? So two-parter, I'm hoping everybody, there's a registration link that I put right in the description there. Come and join us this weekend. For those people who can't make it this weekend, or for those who are coming but do not want to wait until they have your full-blown conversation, do you have any recommendations, any place that you want to suggest that they start if they want to have a taste, perhaps, of what it is you're talking about?
Yes. Whatever experience you have, however little you might think it is, whatever little shimmer of consciousness you have, it's a lot more than what you think it is. Most people, it's been my experience, don't recognize their own self-awareness, not even their own self-awareness. Look inside, think about it, write about it, meditate, pray, and it will come much faster than you think because it's all there to be experienced. It's not something you're going to create by yourself. You're not alone. And somebody who's had this experience, people who have had this experience, like many of the people in this conference, if not everybody, they'll be talking about these things. That's what I'll be talking about. How simple. I'd say, the last thing I might say is that the simplicity of self-awareness is why it's usually missed. It's so common, so natural, so just there. And I'll talk about how the process happened for me and how I missed it for years, even though I had it overtly, strongly. So, like that.
I love that. And that's what's going to ring in my ears now. The simplicity of self-realization is why it's so often missed.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Harri. This has been a delight and a pleasure, and I look forward to spending more time with you this weekend. And that's it. Friends, please share this video and go ahead and register, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you for having me. And bye.